Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of JFC Hollywood and Friends. With me tonight, we have the usual Giacomo Nel Party, as known as Eduardo Mazza,
It's a huge. No, exactly.
Hi, everybody.
Giulio,
Hello.
and after a long time, Pietro Nardone from Vancouver is back with us. Hi, Pietro, how are you doing?
Great. How are you guys?
Well, good.
Well, could be better.
Could be better if you speak about Juventus, but okay. So, well, I have a couple of questions that I have for everybody, but I want to hear what you guys think about the game and what happened last Sunday, because it was quite embarrassing. I think Atalanta basically gave us a lesson on different level, on the pitch, outside of the pitch, on a coaching level and everything. And we can just say that maybe Atalanta is a better team than Juventus. So, but I'm going to start with you guys. So, Eduardo, what do you think about?
Well, you said most of it already. I mean, I think we can all agree that we don't really belong on the same level as Atalanta right now, right? I mean, I think it's fair to say. But it was funny because I thought at the beginning of the game, like, how did we get here? Like, how on earth are we in this position? And then at the end of the game, I had the same question because clearly we're on different levels, and I don't know how we were even pretty much neck to neck to get on a third position. So it's very demoralizing to me because you don't see any of the progress that we hope to see, and it kind of shows us that we really have a long way to go on multiple levels, inside,
On and off the
locker
pitch.
room, on the pitch, within the management, within the ownership. Like you really saw how far off we are from being competitive against a team that, Atlanta's a good team. I don't think, they were in their best shape of the season because they struggled in the Champions League. They struggled against Venezia. But they're still a good team, and maybe they're not the best Atalanta ever, because I think there were some years, a couple years ago, that they were clearly better. But the gap was just so big on everything, and they only needed to land one punch, and then everything else was just a cascade effect. So yeah, it's a long way. We're a long way out. I don't know, if we're on the right path, but we're a long way out for sure.
Ciao, John. And I'll let you over there because I'm scared of what you can say today. Giulio, so what's your point?
There isn't much more to add. I mean, I'm not gonna go into.
Excuse me a second. Excuse me just a second. Cadelli was actually the worst player on the pitch last Sunday, so I think everybody agree on this. And
I mean, the assist that Vlahovic did. I don't know. I mean, and I'm not biggest fan of Locatelli, but I don't know. I don't think there's much more to add in terms of what Edo said about the game itself. And I agree with one thing he said. It wasn't even the best Atalanta we've seen. I mean, if we look at the past couple of years, actually, they don't have probably two of the best players they have had. Zapata and Koopmeiners, right? They don't even have those, and they're still there. Up there, they're fighting for the Scudetto. Actually, they're like right there, 3 points away. So that's some sort of consolation. Meaning, we lost again. Team that is in the top three. The problem is how we lost. The problem is not losing nor winning. The problem is how you lose and how you win. That's why those ties really mean a little to me, because I was judging those ties more like, how did we tie? Why did we tie? How did we play? And if you look like at Sunday, like first shoot and the goal was at the 88th minute. I mean, leave alone the 4-0, that it's like just a shame on its own. Historically, hasn't happened in what is 60 years, 50 years.
Yeah, but last time that happened, we won the Scudetto that year. So
Yeah, that's why it was 6 years ago.
And we say it's not likely.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say
I was one of the one who was not believing even
I
last
never
week.
believed it. No,
So,
no.
but
I mean,
okay.
if you look at the two titles of the last two podcasts, today and last week. Last week was like believe or not believe. Today is it the end of the Motta era? So that describes literally the Juventus fans' mood swings, how we go from one thing to another.
I
mean,
cannot
those
tell you how what I compare the Juventus fan to what. I cannot say right now because probably somebody's going to be offended by it.
right.
So
It would be interesting more like to analyze whose fault it is. I'm not going to get into that because probably like you said you have questions, we're going to talk about it. And so I'm just going to leave it at I didn't think we could have done worse than Empoli, and we managed to do that.
I think they're two different games. The Atalanta game, and I agree with Motta on that. I think Empoli was much worse than the Atalanta game. I think Atalanta was basically a better team than us, and like it or not, they were better for us on different level. As I was saying, so, sorry, Peter, I'm gonna come to you right now, and the thing is like. I never seen Atalanta adapting or changing the style of play like they did last Sunday, and they show like some kind of maturity, in my opinion. Okay, because I always have seen like Atalanta have been really aggressive, attacking their opponent. Instead, on Sunday, last Sunday, they were waiting for us, waiting for our fuck up, and actually we did a lot of fuck up because almost every goal is a fuck up by us. Okay, there's a mistake by us, and they show some kind of maturity from their coach Gasperini and the team Atalanta. But I mean,
leave Atalanta like we didn't shoot in the goal till the last 2 minutes of the game.
Well,
that makes like that game probably the worst of the season because I don't remember any game we played till that day.
I think Empoli were worse, but
no, we had our chances. I mean, if some things with Empoli turned in a different way, we were gonna win maybe the game. They had like 5 or 6 chances like Atalanta, but like me not being able at home, and again, another key game to not create anything, allow us to shoot in the goal till the end of the game. It's like, oh my God, like what are we doing here? And you come back from the halftime down by 1, and instead of like destroying them, you get scored another 3 times. I don't know that that's possible.
I say that I have a different opinion. It doesn't make my opinion right or wrong. And but Pietro, you haven't been here for like a while, okay? And I remember last time you were here with us. So last couple of months were really a roller coaster, okay? And what's your take on like on last Sunday and then the last probably 2 or 3 months that we haven't seen each other?
Well, last Sunday. Let's start with last Sunday. If the players on the field don't understand the importance of that game, they're playing for the wrong team. I do not care about the coach. I do not care about the ownership. I do not care about anybody. Instead of seeing 11 lions on the pitch, we saw 11 kittens. I'm sorry.
You're being generous.
Yeah. I don't want to swear on this. It is Lent.
We're drinking.
I'm drinking water. So I'm very disappointed. Being one of the oldest guy here between the 4 of us, I don't remember the last time that we had forget about it. You can see that the players have skills and stuff, but they don't have that passion. They don't have that Juventus fire. It's embarrassing. Atalanta, better team, sure, whatever. But what did they do? Just sit back and, like Matteo said, waited for our mistakes and scored on every mistake we made. I'm speechless. losing 4-0. I to be honest, I shut off the TV when the game was over. I watched the whole thing, and I haven't turned on Radio Bianconera or anything since then, because as fans right now, we're going from one extreme to another. We're not having a balance, right? We want certain things in life, like last year, we wanted to change. We want young people, we want young this, but then we have no patience. But then you see some elementary mistakes that they're making. I know they should have learned by now that some of those mistakes should not be done game after game after game. How can you show up against Atalanta that if you beat them, we're going to be right there with them and be a Scudetto contender and not show up? Just we had 70% ball possession. That meant nothing. It was like another Sarri all over again. Like, why do we need that? Anyways, very disappointed. I thought for sure that we were going to win against Atalanta. For sure. I had no doubt in my mind. Because if a real Juventus squad would have won.
Yeah, and it looked like that basically. I quite disagree with people that say that we were in the game, because I still think that Atalanta was most controlling the game, even when it was 0-0. Okay, but it basically took like a one punch from Atalanta to knock us out. After that, and that was with today's rule, that is a PK. We can talk and conversation. To me, that is a PK. Sorry, let me add Tal here to us. Hey Tal, how you doing?
I've been better.
Put the baby to sleep?
Yeah, baby's sleeping. Baby's sleeping.
Okay.
He went down easy today, so that was
that's good.
That was good.
Yeah, no, Matteo, you're right with what you said there. You're absolutely right. But I don't know. I still think that penalty shot was a penalty shot, but then last week we should have had the penalty shot ourselves. Okay, so if we're talking about rules, then the rule should be the same for everybody.
I agree.
So if that last week wasn't a penalty shot, this week was not a penalty shot against Atalanta. It's very simple, and I don't care about the referees and things like that, and that's not an excuse. But why is it a penalty shot for Atalanta, and the week prior to that, it was a handball, and they called it, no, it was attached to the torso.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the arm is attached to the torso, and the torso is attached to your butt, and your butt is attached to your legs. Of course. I mean, come on, man.
Oh my God. This picture, I'm scared of that. Tal, so I have a couple of questions for all of you, okay? But first, we were talking about the game on Sunday, okay? And and please take 1 minute to tell us the experience that you guys in New York and the East Coast you have last Sunday, because I guess watching the game with Pirlo Chiellini, I think was like a unique experience, even if like the game didn't go very well.
I'm gonna send you a couple photos right now that you can share on screen.
You know what? Now don't send me, because
he doesn't know how to.
He doesn't know how to. Who do I send them to then? Julio, do you know how to do it?
No, I don't have control over this. He is.
Then also give me a second here. I'll show you. I'll show you something. I'll show you something really cool that was like really special for me. First thing I have to say is that if you guys ever have the opportunity to meet Giorgio Chiellini in person, take the opportunity. He is not just a fantastic senatore of Juve, but he's just an all-around great guy and an absolute
amazing human being.
Amazing human being. I mean,
Pietro talk with him like every week, I guess, right?
We're in constant contact with George. He's a great guy.
He's just so great. He was. I mean, I walked up to him with my son, who's 7 months old. All right, he was exactly 7 months old on the day of the event, and he like lit up and was like, "Oh, you want me to hold him? I was like, yes, please.
Oh, he offered to do that?
What do you?
God.
Yeah, I mean, well, it
That's
didn't exactly happen like that. That's how I'm liking to remember it. But Yvonne, our lovely coordinator from Juve, my son, luckily he looks like my wife, so he's adorable, and so she grabbed him from me because she wanted to hold him so bad. And then this happened. Wait a second. Let me get
Mauro has a message for you, Tao. That's so cute.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture.
So I mean, he held him, and then later we got I got another photo. This is of us, and the screen's being all blurry, but Pirlo actually smiled holding my son, which was cool.
Really? He's able to do that?
Actually full blown smile. Like it wasn't one of these normal like
it does smile then. Okay.
He smiles like this. It's like this.
Like, all right, okay. So he tried to smile.
I saw all of his teeth.
He got to have like a couple of bottles of Franciacorta. Probably then he's gonna start smiling. Probably.
Even when I've seen him drunk, he hasn't smiled.
How is Pirlo? How is Pirlo? Is he approachable? Like, how would you describe him?
Not really. I would say that he is very much to himself. As much as he is was an amazing player and an amazing player for us. Like to me, my top three players are Buffon, Del Piero, Chiellini. Okay. So to me, Giorgio was huge. And we didn't even know if he was going to be there that day. And I think that I can speak for a lot of at least my members who I've spoken to who were there. His presence really made the event for them.
I'm sure.
Pirlo was like a statue of, like, you could have brought a wax statue of Pirlo.
Take pictures.
Experience. And it's no detriment to him. Not everybody is as magnanimous as Giorgio is.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of person to be that.
Yeah,
way.
we met him like several times here, and he was always like, I think the right word is approachable, and down to her.
Yes,
down to her.
I had met him before once when the team was in New York City. I think it was the summer of 2016. And I had met him before, and then later that year in 16-17, I was in Torino, and I saw him with his family. He was there with his wife and one of his daughters. They were pushing her in a stroller, and I was there actually with the Indonesia JOFC. And they all were so excited to see him, and they wanted to take pictures with him. And the fact that he stopped out with his family to take pictures with people that's a big deal. Okay. Not every celebrity or player is going to do that kind of thing. And then he asked me if I wanted a picture, and I said, sir, I have a picture with you already.
And what about the game? What about the game?
What game? The only thing that happened on Sunday was that Giorgio Chiellini held my son. That was the only thing that happened.
Okay. So let's move on.
What else happened? Did Juve play? Did we play? No, we didn't play. Only Atalanta played. So, and watching that game was very difficult for me personally, because I thought on that day, if we actually showed up to play, I think we could have won that game. I don't think Atalanta was good. I don't think I think if Atalanta was good, we would have lost 8-9-0.
Were Chiellini and
we were close to
Pirlo, right? Were Chiellini or Pirlo reacting at all to the game?
I don't think Pirlo reacts to anything, so that's kind of like a weird, you know what I mean? I feel like there could be like gunshots or a murder, and he'll just be like, boo. Giorgio looked incredibly disappointed, especially because, one of them is just, Pirlo is currently just an ambassador for Juve, but Giorgio's staff member. Like he's
Right.
works there. So I think it was a little difficult for him to see us play that poorly.
But they were not commenting.
And,
they were not saying anything.
No, and I also think that in their roles that they were fulfilling that day, I think commenting would have been inappropriate. Personally,
No. I mean, nothing. It's not. I don't expect them to insult Locatelli.
No,
I mean, I would love to hear that, but
He's not Julio. He's not going to insult him.
no, I don't even think. I don't think he's capable of being insulting like that. I think the worst thing he could have said was what he said to Allegri on the sideline. That no, è una squadra. Like
This is what we have. Yeah.
Allegri said, "Questi siamo."
Exactly.
That's who we are.
So, okay, let me change the topic. Okay, let's move forward. Since
Let's see how.
I don't know how.
Is it gonna be a depression episode, or are we gonna?
No, it's a group therapy. Right now,
Group therapy. What's going on?
I call it group therapy.
Got pills here.
So, okay, so we on Sunday actually we're gonna have another huge game because we're gonna play against Fiorentina, you know, and for whatever reason we are still in 4th position. Everybody's making fun, not making fun, but I say that David, that the Serie A is really below average this year. Actually, you know, Pietro is a little bit older than me, but Pietro, and if you remove like the 9 scudetti that we won, 7 or 9, the good thing about Serie A, I think it was always that it was difficult playing everywhere, and so it wasn't necessary. It wasn't like required to have like to make 90 points like in Napoli did last year, or like 102 points like we did with Conte. We were for example, the year that the first year that we won with Lippi, we lost 7 games. So I think the interesting thing about Italy, about the Serie A, is like it's always going to be tough to win everywhere, no matter what. Okay, then you know. Inter has the special rules, so it can make it like easier for them, but that's a different conversation. So we're still in 4th position. I think we are 1 point ahead on Lazio. We play against Fiorentina. I think it's imperative to get the 4th spot because right now Atalanta is 5 points. No, is 6 points ahead. 6 points ahead of us. And if we lose on Sunday, you gonna sack Motta, or you're gonna continue with him for the last 9 games of the season? And I'm gonna start with Edo.
Edo, you're gonna sack Motta? I don't know. You can interpret
Me personally,
sack Motta.
No, I mean, you have to win it. I don't care how, but if you lose it, it's gonna depend on how you lose it. I mean, if you see a team that it's pretty much like the second half of last week's game, and you lose, I don't know, 2-0, 3-0, then you have a real headache, because then you have 9 more games. You're going to Rome twice to play. You're going to Bologna to play. So it's not like you have an easy schedule. At some point, when you drop below the 4th place, you have to ask yourself, you know, what gives us the best chances of getting back into the 4th place? Finding some sort of
sack him, and you replace it with who specifically?
Well, I mean, that's the $100 million question. I mean, you have to sack him. I mean, you have 9 games left. There is no spark left in the team. If the team plays like, if the team plays like we played in the second half, how can you expect that team to find some sort of groove and somehow manage to get to the end of the season?
You don't have to convince me. So you will replace with.
I mean, yeah, you replace him, and I don't know. That's a question for Giuntoli, because he's a one-man show. Like, that's his own team. Right now, nobody's gonna tell Giuntoli gotta hire that guy.
He's still working with Juventus, Giuntoli, right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he has a 3-year contract.
Mhm.
The question is, it's a very good question. Like, who do you hire? I mean, assuming that you hire somebody just for the 9 games is really hard, unless they have a name that goes beyond the 9 games and becomes, your coach for next year and beyond. Then you can go with that name. But if they're looking for some stopgap, that's really hard. I mean, Tudor doesn't want to come, or they don't want him. I mean, apparently there's not much feeling there between the two parts. Who else is available that would just come and eat a lot of shit for 9 games? And if it's good, good. If it's bad, it's gonna really tank his name. I don't know.
Is this the same if we tie? We don't lose, we tie?
No, I think for me, you get to the point if you lose badly.
Okay.
Like,
before going to you, Giulio, yes, Global that probably is someone from that is not from our club, so different. They're talking about the New York appearance by Chiellini is kind of suspicious. I don't know, because it was kind of like a last minute thing that Utah found out. So I have no idea. I don't want to see anything. Maybe you want to like a taste the water for like the World Cup that's gonna happen like in June, but I don't know. If you know more, please chat and let us know. Okay, Giulio.
I mean, I'm reading what David just wrote. He said I think it's more about how we played than the actual result. I think the Fiorentina game actually is about the result. The time of, okay, we see some improvement in how the team is playing, it's over, because we have thrown out of the window everything. Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, Champions League, and now we're hanging by a thread for the top 4. So at this point we need points, right?
Good point.
We can really, like, at this point, like, how much better can they get in the last 2 months left, right? They are who they are right now. So I think the question comes down to, is Giuntoli somewhat behind what's going on or not? Meaning the fact that he's supporting but not supporting. Does he say something about what he wants, like was with Allegri? Because like a tie or a victory wouldn't give him the reason to sack Motta, right? A defeat, even if it's by 1-0, it would, because at that point, like, a defeat is a defeat. People are tired of it. And there is no more excuses. There is nothing more to use to defend Motta or the team at this point, right? Would I sack him? I mean, if the question is like, is the team still following him? These are things we don't know. If the team is following him, no, I wouldn't sack him. Because 9 games, who the heck is going to fix this in 9 games? Who is willing to come for 9 games? Unless you put Manganelli or one of these guys, I don't know how much more strength they can have in the locker room than Thiago Motta. But is the team still following Thiago Motta or not? That's the question. That's what is to determine if he needs to be sacked or not. If the team is not following him, he's got to go. Because, I mean, what are we doing? If the team is following him, then you need to keep him till the end of the season and let them sink all together, including Giuntoli, which is his pick. So, and by the way, I don't believe that Giuntoli is behind anything, because I do not believe that Giuntoli would play against his own choice. It doesn't make sense. If Motta sinks and gets sacked and sucks, everybody's going to point the finger at Giuntoli. Like, it's not that he's going to be the good guy because now he put us in the top 4 spot, like in March. He's the one that picked Motta. I think Giuntoli has as much interest as everybody to have him succeed. So I do not believe that Giuntoli is doing something underneath, but it needs to be considered, considering what he did with Allegri last year.
Pietro?
The short answer is no. I wouldn't sack him. We can't restart all the time from day one. Going back to what Julio said, I don't think he has the locker room, Julio, at all right now. And that's, I think, the way he wants it, because he wants to be the leader of the locker room. I've never ever seen a great team where the leader of the locker room is a coach, and I think that's one of the problems. I don't think Giuntoli really thought this through when he hired him, and I think he's having second thoughts about this. But Giuntoli would not go against his own choice. So I agree with you, Julio. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be sacked unless we're going to be so far away from the fourth place that it doesn't really matter anymore. Then they'll get rid of him. I don't think it will get to that point. To be honest, because I still hope that the 11 pussycats that we have on the field are going to start becoming more and more lions and have some integrity and have some coglioni and balls to actually win some games, because we need the fourth place. There's no two way about it. They owe it to the team, they owe it to us as fans, and they owe it to themselves, because we're a better team than what we've seen against Atalanta or Empoli. Those are my opinions. I very little feelings, but it's business time right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No more, foreplay. We're getting right into it.
Tao, what are you feeling?
It's difficult because I don't really consider the last 9 games of the season as crucial in the thinking of replacing the coach as I do the Club World Cup. I think a big reason why they did not opt for letting Allegri finish his contract was mainly because they wanted somebody that was going to make a really big spectacle and have a really attractive style of play going into the Club World Cup, being an actual competitive tournament that we'd be competing in over the summer. So that being said, if you bring in Brambilla or you bring in Maglianelli to just kind of be a caretaker, the only one that I can see actually doing something because he has the balls is Tudor. But I don't know what the relationship with Tudor is like. I don't know how he feels about the club. Primarily because of how he was kind of ousted as Pirlo's assistant. But I genuinely think that Tudor might be the only manager that could influence an amount of change, primarily because he's a scary figure that understands Juventinità and understands what it is to play for this club. And Motta doesn't do that. And to kind of touch on what Giulio was saying with Giuntoli, Giuntoli made a lot of decisions that on paper made perfect sense. If you were to go back to this summer and we're going to say, no, we're not going to take the opportunity to get Douglas Luiz, who's coming off a career season in the Premier League. If we're going to say, no, don't get Koop Meiners, who's coming off a career season for Atalanta. Don't get Nico Gonzalez, who's coming off of a career season at Fiorentina. Like, who could have predicted that they were all going to flop like this? I mean, sure, after the first couple games, seeing Koop Meiners not play so well, you say, okay, maybe we make some adjustments. We put somebody else in the 10. Maybe we play a flat 3 in the midfield instead. Those are the kind of adjustments that you make, not him not knowing how to play football all of a sudden, which is what it seems like. And so you have to consider that if you sack him and you replace him with somebody else, that is going to be the manager for the Club World Cup as well. But that being said, if we lose to that Saudi team or that Moroccan team, I feel like that would be infinitely more embarrassing. Also, if you replace him with, I think it's Brambilla, that's the next gen coach, right? And it's Marianelli, that's the coach of the Primavera. Brambilla needs to do his preseason with the next gen. The next gen's a real team. They have a preseason, they have transfers, they have all this. Like, he's going to need to be there for that, because even if he comes in as the interim manager, he's just going to be an interim and probably go back.
We have
I'm reading Yes
I
Global.
mentioned between Mauro and Yes Global. We go to this dream to the other.
I don't know what this Yes
We
Global
should
guy's
invite
talking
both
about.
them.
Like he's
Yeah, exactly. That would be fun having them both.
I don't
No,
even
no,
know.
yeah, but
He's
no,
having
but-
his
well,
own
okay.
conversation with himself. This guy, I have no idea what he's talking about. Like what if we did treat them like that? Like, dude, we everybody was crucifying Allegri when he was the only one holding the team together. You know what I mean? Like,
Let's
can we?
keep Allegri for one week,
My
please.
thing is that, like, can we go? Like, I feel like in our chat, in the whatchamacallit chat, in our Empire State chat, like, every time something goes wrong, it's but Allegri this and Agnelli this and then the Super League and this, and I'm like, it's like we have the same argument over. It's so tired. We're starting to sound like Arsenal fans over here, and that's not who we are.
You know what? We're starting to be like Inter fan during the 9 years that we won the Scudetto every other year. So, but
I don't listen to Inter fans, so I don't know what they sound like.
Well,
It's
you
all
listen
just
to Juventus
squawking
fans
to me.
right now is pretty much the same. Well, it's going back to you, Brambilla. Maybe hopefully it will be available in June, because the playoff probably. Well, first of all, we don't know if he's going to make the playoff. If the Lega Pro finished today, I think they are in, because they won today 1-0 in Sorrento. Actually, they play like another solid game. I think they're missing their best player, but not the best player, but the leader, because they have a leader. And he's gonna miss it for 1 month. That is like Simone Guerra. But okay, there's not talking with you and talking for the chat. It looked like we should sack Motta only if we get embarrassed another time on Sunday. Otherwise, we should keep him on the.
I almost feel like it's gonna be this yo-yo team we've seen all season. Like, we'll probably play decent against Fiorentina. We'll probably, I don't know, maybe we'll win 2-0 and people will be like, it's not so bad, and maybe it was just a fluke game. But like, we've been doing that all season. It's one game is down here, the other game is up here, the next game is like, we don't even know what team is going to show up, and so it's kind of hard for me to.
Sorry to interrupt, but isn't it funny though? The top 7 teams all have the same problem. It's not just us.
Yeah, no, I think this
year is weird.
It's a very weird
season. I love it. Honestly, I love it.
It's a very weird season. I mean, Udinese was in first place for like 4 weeks this season, and now they're in mid-table. And I watched their game against Lazio, and they looked way better than Lazio. So I wouldn't be surprised if in this latter half of the season that you see Udinese come up with some upsets against a lot of these bigger teams, because a lot of the top 7 teams have to play against Udinese.
Well, hopefully Venezia are going to upset Napoli on Sunday. On Sunday. It's about time that my home team, start doing something.
Matteo, what do you think, Matteo, about Sunday if we lose? If we lose.
If we lose, the problem is, okay, I'm on the Motta bandwagon.
And that's the problem. When you create a bandwagon, the bandwagon sinks.
You're right.
And you do not create any more bandwagons. I can name 3 or 4.
Absolutely right. So, but I remind you that you in Fantacalcio this year you got Nico Gonzalez and Colomani. Since you got Colomani, stop scoring.
Correct.
So you should be banned to buy any Juventus.
Correct.
The problem
and
is
Savona in another Fantacalcio, by the way.
The problem is who are you gonna replace him with?
Well, you can replace him just with Tudor right now. If you bet on Tudor for 3 years, you're like, okay, he's gonna be the coach. There isn't anyone that is gonna do it for
I'm
8,
not
9
gonna.
games.
I'm gonna honestly. I'm not.
That's the truth.
Not
I mean, who are you gonna?
There is
gonna call?
one guy. There is one guy who would coach it for 9 games, no matter what.
Galeone.
Maybe
Is he
not
still
from
around?
maybe not from the mid 20th century or something.
Who?
You know who? I think he just got his license to coach. And
Piero.
he's tried. No.
No, please. Come on.
Yeah, you got it.
No. I was saying no, please to Giulio.
Who?
There's a guy who wanted to be on Conte's staff.
Oh, Bonucci.
There you go.
Ma va a cagare te, Bonucci.
I'm not kidding.
No.
Be the only one.
If you thought Motta's press conferences
Excuse me,
were bad,
guys. Excuse me for a second.
Motta's
Excuse
press
me
conferences
for
were
a second. I cannot hear something like that.
Thank you.
I had to be the
Don't let him in.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
You were in timeout, Edo.
I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying that the only guy who's foolish enough to think that he could do that job for 9 games.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Because nobody else is gonna.
You're saying he's stupid. Okay, all right. He's stupid. Yes, we know that.
I mean,
Sure.
who else is going to
Sposta gli equilibri da che parte?
Yeah. No. I would stay with Motta then.
Guys. Gentile guy, guys. There was a great name before we got the champ.
Let's make this fun a little bit. So we're all stressed out. I think I'm in mourning, to be honest. For many things, but Juve is one of them. Why is it the Juventus stock going through the roof while Juventus is doing so bad?
We need John from the chat for this. So
they're going through the roof because of the
somebody's buying the stock. Because somebody is buying the stock.
No, because of this Agnelli rumor that he might be taking over, and so people got excited and started pissing in their pants. That's why. I mean, that's why what I was reading today, the stock went up.
I think that minority company from Italy bought 8.7%, not 5%. 8.7%.
The crypto
it was initially 5.1, and they recently bought another 3%.
So it's there's something going on, but they have to fix what we have on the field. Come on, it's there's
no, it's mostly going up, David. Mostly going up.
I still don't understand why Giuntoli and Motta got rid of all the senators. How can you build a team without this? I mean, I was in
because
Torino.
Honestly, they were not really senator.
Okay, well,
they were the closest thing we had, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I
mean, if you look at the team, sorry to cut you off, Pietro, but
No.
I'm adding on to what you said. If you look at the team and all of the players, including our on loan players, the person on our squad that has the most seniority is Rugani.
Yeah,
it's Rugani. Rugani has most out of all the players that are currently employed by Juve. He's the one that has the most trophies. Okay.
Yeah, but Rugani has the same personality of a basket of potatoes.
I personally disagree.
Oh no, it's a fact. It's not an opinion. We have like inside facts of that. He's not really. That's never strong personality.
I like him too.
But last season, I think every time he played last season, we had a clean sheet.
Well, that he's a safe player to have on the bench, that's different. But like that, he can be the leader of the team. But it's a different conversation.
Let's look at Bremer, for instance. Bremer is maybe doesn't look like he's the most vocal guy, but because he's a good player and he provides stability at the back, he gives confidence to the rest of the players. If you have that in Rugani and you have a guy that's like, hey, this is what it's like to be here.
No, guys, like the leaders are something else. Like today,
Yeah, I agree.
Today I was watching.
Pietro was saying something. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Pietro. Your mic is on and off, so sometimes maybe you're talking and we don't hear you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Just want to finish what I was saying. So about the leaders, yeah, they're not true leaders. That whatever works. Going back to Danilo and Szczesny. So this past summer I went to the Juventus stadium, and I took my kids there to show them the stadium. We took the tour. When we went to the dressing room, guess which two seats were at the head? The captain, and right beside the captain was Szczesny, and it's been there for years because he was one of the leaders in the dressing room, most respected. Why did we get rid of him? Like,
he's expensive. He's on a very, very high contract.
He's expensive. Di Gregorio is more expensive than him right now.
How?
So they're there. Yeah, they're there. Because
the truth is,
Szczesny was on like 7 million.
Yeah, but you had to buy Di Gregorio, so.
Oh, but we're talking wages. We're not including the transfer fee.
You got to include everything.
We need to remember where we started, though, guys. Like at the beginning of the season, the goal was to lower the age of the team and fix the books, right? So, looking at it in August, September, all these moves made sense, right? Now we're in March. And we're seeing that the lack of leaders, Danilo, Szczesny, and whoever, I don't remember, they saw. Afterwards, it wasn't a good move because they left the team with no leaders. So I think Pietro is right and Tal is right, saying we have no leaders. They did this completely, like cutting everybody with no mercy, and now they're paying the price of it. So it turned out to be a bad choice, I think. We can say that safely, but we need to look at these moves also, why they were done. There were different reasons why. And that didn't, now they're paying the price of those choices. They thought they could do without, wrong moves from that point of view. Because those 6-7 millions they saved, now they lost it in Champions League, they lost in a Coppa Italia, they lost in Supercoppa, and maybe they're going to lose the top 4. So saving those salaries, in the end, it might cost more.
So look, I have another question for you guys. Sorry if I did a little bit, and it's gonna tail to the one I was talking before. Let's say we finish in the 4th spot, so we got the minimum result that is like the Champions League qualification for next year. Okay, we go to the World Cup, we go to the round of 16, we got kicked out by Real Madrid. Okay, so would you start the next season with Motta? Or would you replace him with a different coach? I started with Edo.
I mean, how can we make that assessment? I mean, it depends. Like the problem here is if at this point his future depends on finishing 4th.
No, we finished 4th. We finished 4th.
Okay, but the point is, if his fate depends on where Juve ends up being at the end of the season, if this is how Giuntoli approaches the problem, then we have big issues. Because the question would be, Giuntoli, what do you see? A guy that is growing through some pains with the team, but you have confidence that come next season we're in better shape than we are today, then you keep him. But you cannot just judge his performance based on whether he got the bare minimum while destroying everything else, because that's one thing we're not talking about. We're taking a lot of values out of our players, because let's say everybody has a price tag, right? That's fine. I'm not questioning that. What is Yildiz price tag now compared to his price tag in October? What is Cambiaso price tag now compared to 4 months ago?
Vlahovic.
But that's zero. I can tell you that price tag is zero. But you have to consider the project organically and not just one yes or no question whether, oh, you got fourth, great, you're staying. You got fifth, no, you are gone. It has to be some sort of daily evaluation that goes way beyond the results, because that's not how you build good teams. Just by saying, okay, because everybody else sucked, we got fourth.
Okay, so you would replace it, but no matter what.
I mean,
I'm asking you, Eduardo. No, I'm asking
I don't
you.
see him daily. How can I make that assessment?
Okay, but we're just talking.
It's
So
an opinion.
if he makes it to the top 4, would you keep him or not?
No, just
Yes or
Gastelum,
no?
no.
No. All right.
Thank you. Sal?
Short answer, no.
Okay.
I think the damage is done. And personally, I feel like Thiago Motta is the emotional successor to Eusebio Di Francesco, who's capable of doing great things with small teams. And then the second you give him anything with any pressure, he shits the bed. And I have a feeling that he's going to go.
Do you have a name to replace him with? Or someone that you like?
Not my fucking problem. Someone to replace him with. Look, we have to see what happens this summer. You know, personally, I don't think that there's any managers that are currently in sit. Like, if you were to ask me what to do over the summer, I think that I personally think that the best course of action, and I'm obviously, you know, we're all geniuses in retrospect, would have been to keep Allegri for another season. You take you make some minor changes to the squad, but keep the kind of existing core that was there, even though they were not necessarily the best guys. Make some tweaks, make some acquisitions that are guys that can work for any manager. And then what you do at that point is you give the 3 guys that were kind of on place to replace Motta, which were Palladino, Italiano, and Motta. You give them another season to cook. You let Motta see what he can do in 3 competitions. He probably would have done terribly with that Bologna team in Europe. And then you make the decision. I think we made decisions too hastily this summer and replaced too many people and had too much turnover. I think
you got Giuntoli. That's why he got hired for
again.
But yeah, no, that's
I
your
know.
opinion.
I know
Yeah,
why.
course,
I know why
course.
we made the decisions we did. I'm just saying.
Talking with somebody that allows Allegri to do that. Okay, so if Mauro is the first leg in the world, probably I'm in top 3 too. Edo, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, just a detail. But it's going to be really challenging if we decide to just change, coach, because we have 2 small windows to do that. Because clearly you cannot keep Motta for the World Cup. If you decide to just get rid of him.
No, I think if you keep him now and you don't sack him now, he's going to be your manager for the Club World Cup. I think that whoever finishes out these last 9 games, whether it's Motta or someone else, they're also the manager for the Club World Cup. And I think that is the big thing that is holding back management from making a big decision.
I don't know, because I see
sorry.
we just don't have and then after the World Cup we have very few weeks before then, you have preseason again. So you have 2 small windows of time to make a really tough decision. So whatever we're going to do it's not the best situation ever where we have lots of time to think about and figure things out. I hope they have a plan that's ready in case we need to go there, because it's messed up.
Okay. Pietro?
So the question is, if
you finish 4, you keep Motta or no?
It is a tough question to answer, and I'm with Edo and Tal. It depends how we finish 4th, right? If we finish strong, and you see that Motta's work is finally paying off, then we have to keep him. Because let's not forget, Giuntoli lives and dies by the success of the coach. Because he has 2 more years, that's it. He's got to we all forget that the first year was with Allegri, and he did absolutely nothing. He was just studying the team and seeing how Juventus works. He's got to have results, and he's got to have results fast. This year, he's not going to have any results other than hopefully the 4th place. So he has to make a really, really decisive decision. If we were to replace him, I'm sorry, I'm going to go with a seasoned coach. I'm not going to go with a nobody. Okay, it has to be a seasoned coach. So I would only replace Motta if we're going to go with a coach that has a lot of experience. Otherwise, I'm going to keep Motta because he's going to learn from his first year's mistakes. He's not an idiot. He's very intelligent, but unfortunately, just like any other young coach, he's got a huge ego and he doesn't know how to deal with it. So if we get rid of Motta, great. We need to get a really good coach, okay, international coach. Otherwise, I'm happy with Motta, and we live and die.
Do you have a name?
The name is all over the place now. Klopp has always been one of the guys that I wanted, but I don't know. I don't know if we can have a coach that is not doesn't understand Italian or Juve. I mean, to me, Zidane, but Zidane has only won with Real Madrid. We don't know how good of a coach he really is, right?
I agree with that. I agree 100% with Zidane. But question for you, but Klopp, okay, I think everybody here agrees on Klopp. He's a great manager, right? Are you ready to give him like 4 years before doing something like he did with Liverpool?
It's not me.
I know.
Juve and Serie A will never give you a year, so, never mind 4 years.
So he would never made like 9 years with Liverpool, like we know.
Never, ever. So we need to. No, I don't. I'm not prepared. He needs to leave. I'm not prepared. I don't have names, but right now we gotta have somebody who knows Juventus. And I think one thing Motta doesn't know is I don't think he understood what Juventus is all about. Even the way he answers some of the questions. It just
after the Atalanta game. Jeez.
Yeah, it just doesn't get it. Like I just don't understand it. I mean, what do you get off now? You guys stop asking me about the Scudetto. Are you serious? Like, did you actually say that? Then you don't know where you were at.
I mean, this is from the same guy that said we can't be obsessed with winning.
Yeah, then I know, and now he's always saying, "Oh, winning is everything."
If Agnelli was the president, he would have walked down into the presser, grabbed him by the shirt, and said, "I'm going to be the coach for the rest of the season. Fuck you."
He probably would have.
But I'm going to give you Pietro a question.
Yeah,
Julia hasn't answered yet.
I mean, Julia.
Yeah, it's very easy. Like if we make it top 4, you keep Motta. I mean, if we make it top 4, it's because you had a strong ending. You're not gonna make it top 4 if you keep sucking, unless Lazio, Fiorentina, and Bologna suck all 9 games like us, which I don't see it. So it means like the team is with them. You ended strong. You made it top 4. And it's a 3 years project, so you give him more time and see how it does. Because as you guys all can see, all of you, when you said, yeah, we're replacing him, and then with who, the how, and what's going to happen, everybody has a million doubts about replacing and starting all over. So if he makes it top 4, which we always said from the beginning, it's our goal this year, and Coppa Italia, I think he stays. That's it to me.
Quick, because we are.
No, I was just
piggybacking
on Pietro's comment. Do you guys think we have a structure in place as a team, meaning ownership, management, and whatever, to lure that kind of international coach, like a club, for instance?
No.
Easy. Okay, that's my point. Like, you're gonna pay him so much money. First of all, second. Maybe you're gonna pay him even more because he's gonna want some sort of insurance on top of the normal salary because he's walking into a circus, to be polite. So to me, that's completely not where we are right now. So, but I agree with Pietro that there's no structure to the whole project. You cannot have another coach that it's not seasoned, hasn't seen it 100 times in different places and different levels, and there's not many names around that fit the bill.
But that goes with Gasperini, that goes with Tudor, that goes with Conte. You get any of these coaches right now, and they're gonna put them Giuntoli on a cross on the first presser. So having Motta on the bench is actually helping the fact that we don't have like a proper management team. And Giuntoli is a victim too, by the way. I pinned this on Elkan.
Yeah, so do I.
Giuntoli needs to have somebody that teaches him too what Juventus is, because he hasn't understood that either. He's good at his job. It's just a matter of mentality. The players we have are great players. They just don't understand who they're playing for. Thiago is a young, talented coach who doesn't understand anything about Juventus or what to say or do. That's what's missing. It all starts from here. But not here Giuntoli, here Elkan, who puts the money but doesn't have the love for the team and doesn't understand shit about soccer. Unfortunately.
That's why he got Giuntoli.
Yeah, alone, like you put him there, guys. Just because how you know to drive like a BMW fast on a normal road doesn't mean you get an F1 and start running races. You know, you need to be coached in that too. And that's what it is. Giuntoli went from a clown club with a clown president and went to Juventus, which is something different.
With another clown president.
Huh?
With another clown president.
So it's like they're all victims of all these changes. You know, Giuntoli is not a Marotta. It's not.
Well, you got okay. We need to close, but I'm going to be kicked out. But yeah, but you gotta be honest. I have all my doubt with Clercan as well, but at the end of the day, he did put a lot of money into the team.
I said it. He's put a lot of money.
No, exactly. No, I agree with you. He put a lot of money. Of course, he doesn't care about Juventus as much as like his cousin, as much as his grandpa. But
I'm going to ask you a question that's related to
I'm all for like what we're hearing now. I'm all for Andrea Agnelli to come back. I'm not gonna deny. That's what I hope. But okay, go tell them we're gonna say goodnight.
I don't know, Edo. I don't know if you have kids. I from my knowledge, Pietro, Giulio, and Matteo, you guys all have kids, correct?
I don't.
You don't. Okay, my mistake. Pietro and Matteo, with your kids, do you think it would be better to be present in their lives or just throw money at the problem anytime there's something?
No, come on. It's like of course, but it's the different.
Is it though? Because to me, a fish is going to
rot. No, but I told you, if you tell me that tomorrow Andrea Agnelli is gonna be the new president with a new group coming in, I'm all in favor of it. I'm just saying we cannot like talk shit about a person that basically he paid like close to €1 billion like in the last.
It's not about talking shit. It's about like not understanding what Juventus is. Juventus is not a business. It's more than a business. You can't run just like a bit. It's not. It's never been. History.
He cares more about Ferrari.
It could be a successful business, but you need to understand the type of. It's not like any other business. It's completely different.
Yeah, no, I know, Giulio, but now Juventus is part of Exor. So, Tal, going back to your kids, I've got three kids. Okay, now I'll turn it around. I'll say, okay, out of the three kids, one is Ferrari, one is Juventus, and one is something else. Out of the three kids, they all get an allowance.
Fiat.
Yeah, Fiat, right? All of them get an allowance. Now, one of my kids keeps on always asking me for more money, right? At one point, you got to stop it, right? And Juventus is the spoiled brat, okay, that has not learned how to spend the money wisely. he had to put a stop to it. Okay, Andrea Agnelli did an amazing job, but the last 2 years he really screwed up things financially. Okay, and a lot had to do with COVID, 100%. Okay, but he had to pay the price. And John Elkann is not Gianni Agnelli, is not Andrea Agnelli. John Elkann is a businessman, and he doesn't have the love for Juventus like he has for like Gianni Agnelli did. And we need to understand that he's better than any other ownership that we can get. He's better than the Milan ownership. He's better than the Inter ownership. Do you think those guys have love for their teams?
Nope.
Okay, we got to get out of this thing. Gianni Agnelli is no longer around. He's done. Umberto Agnelli's gone. That Juventus there is never coming back. This is a new Juventus, and we need to deal with the present. Okay?
Pietro, you had a perfect example. The Inter ownership is an investment fund that doesn't give a shit if they win Scudetto or not. They just need to make money, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that Inter management, the front office is there because there is like a part for like the for the sport section, a part for the management section, a part for like the revenue section. In Juventus, we don't have this at the moment. We have a great ownership because with a lot of we're willing to put money, but right now we're just one person that's in charge of everything. That as of now, he hasn't done anything. Maybe because he needs more time, maybe because he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know, but that's the point.
But that's what I'm saying. You guys, if you want to treat this as a business, great. Each business has a culture. Any business has a culture. If you replace everyone together in the same business, all of them, all that knew what was going on, they put like new people and one in charge, nobody is going to know what was it. So they're going to run it how they think they should, not how it's supposed to be. That's Elkann's mistake. That's why I say he doesn't understand soccer, doesn't understand Juventus. I'm not saying it's a bad ownership. That's what I'm saying. We've been successful because there was always somebody that understood what Juventus was. There is no one. The property understood. Right now, the property doesn't understand that either. I don't want Elkann gone. He can stay as long as they put in place. Now they're talking about Chiellini being general director or somebody. As long as they recreate in there someone that knows what it meant to be there. We don't have it. We can blame Giunto, Thiago, and the team, but we don't have it. Nobody's taught these guys what it is.
Guys, this is a conversation for another episode. Sorry, I'm being kicked out of my room. Sorry, and it's late. So Pietro, but you know that you're always more than welcome all the time, and so it was fun. It was longer than expected. So hopefully this Sunday is gonna go different. We don't need group therapy next week. Well, we'll see.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. It's always good to talk Juventus with you guys, and different opinions is what make our team better. Okay.
Yeah, same love,
right.
Different opinion. Tal?
Fino alla fine. Forza Juve.
Love it. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Ciao.